Hello everyone and welcome to this Fallout 4 video. Today we're going to ask the question, can a £200 PC play Fallout 4? And the answer, as you can see, is yes. Yes, it can. Now we're running on medium settings at 1080p. We're getting 1920 by 1080 here. Medium settings, we're getting an average of 40 to between 30 and 40 FPS. Sometimes we can touch 50, occasionally we might hit 60, but it averages about 35 frames per second. Perfectly playable on the medium settings. Now I have tweaked a few settings down a little bit. What I did was I took the draw distance and put it to low, because again, the system that we're running here is a Core i5 3330. It's clocked at 3 GHz, quad core CPU, as you can see. The graphics card that we're running is an AMD HD 7770, which is 1 GB of VRAM, and as you can see by the data in the corner, the MSI Afterburner overlay there, we are maxing the VRAM pretty much. I'm quite surprised this can run it, actually. I expected, like 720p or something out of a video card like this. You can run 720p, and you can run it on Ultra at 720p and hit 30 FPS if you want. I don't like 720p. I'm gonna run it at 1080p. 1080p medium is a better resolution to run at, I find. We don't want to be Xbox One, although in comparison to consoles, slightly graphically inferior. However, you do get a higher frame rate than this. The consoles are locked at 30 FPS, and we're up to 57 FPS here in an indoor area right here. We're getting close to 60 FPS there. It won't last as soon as you go outdoors. As soon as you get... So turning off the draw distance really helps out the VRAM, because of course the memory pipeline is full, and it gets full fairly quickly. We only have 1 GB. We've got 8 gigs of system RAM. It's 1333 MHz, so it's nothing to write home about. But I'm surprised at how well this actually runs, and it looks alright. I mean, it's playable. It's perfectly playable for the price, because you got to bear in mind this PC costs less than an Xbox One. I got injured there. That was bad. On fire for a bit. I only got one stim. Only got one stim here. But yeah, you'll see later in the video when we get a bunch of explosions and things that the frame rate rarely dips below. Rarely dips below 30 FPS. I think once it dipped to like 19, but only briefly. So you get an average of 35, can go up to the 40s occasionally. But I think it's perfectly playable on this system. It cost me £200. It's a custom build PC. I bought it on eBay, if you want to know. I was the only bidder for this system. And I thought it was a good system. Nobody else wanted it. Yeah, the graphics card is a little bit weak. Maybe that's what put people off. But here we are. For less than the cost of an Xbox One, you can have, you're not matching it in terms of performance. But, you're matching it in terms of graphical performance. You're not really matching it. The PS4 at least runs the ultra texture setting. I tried to get the ultra texture setting, but the frame rate does not have it. The frame rate does not want to have it. It dips to like 27, 26. And I'm trying to keep the frame rate above 30 here. That is the goal. It's to target above 30 FPS, 30 minimum. But as you can see by the RAM, we're hitting the limits. So the question is, can you run 2 or 1 gig of VRAM in 2016? Well, Fallout 4, which is a 2015 game, you can in this case. So, it's not unlike Killer Instinct that we looked at last time, where we actually failed some of the things and we had to turn the settings to low and the resolution down. But you've got the option. You can run the ultra texture at 900p at 1600 by 900. I prefer 1080p, to be honest. The frame rate is mostly the same. It's struggling a little bit here. It's back up again. But yeah, you get the i5 is not being maxed really at all. The i5 is coping fairly well with it. I don't know what it'd be like if you put a better graphics card in. I may try it again with a better graphics card just to see how the CPU deals with it. Just to see how the CPU can cope and the system RAM. But right now we are limited by VRAM. We're pretty much VRAM limited, as you can see. At 977, 978 megabytes here. It is a 1 gigabyte capacity. We're running Windows 10, if you want to know. Windows 10. Just in case you want to know the OS that we're running. So what else do we need to know? We've got 1 gig of VRAM. We've got an i5 3330. It's a non-K. It's not overclockable. I skipped a little bit there because I leveled up and spent a long time choosing a perk. That's why I skipped that little bit there. But as you can see here, it looks alright. It doesn't look... I honestly thought that this would run like 720p at, you know, 25 FPS. But, you know, you've got the option. You can run at 720p if you want ultra settings, if you want the... if you want all the anti-aliasing and things and, you know, God rays, they're disabled. But everything else is medium shadows, shadow resolution, things like that. They're all medium settings. Everything except the textures, they're set to high, which don't look great, if I'm honest with you. But I ran out of ammo here. I'm wondering why it didn't shoot there. Kill that raider. Just imagine you're BioWare and raiders are the type of players. There you go. Ugh, blow chunks out of their head there. That was a nice shot. Again, the frame rate pretty solid, 29.9. You're not gonna notice that. That's pretty decent. I'm pretty impressed by this system actually. All in all, I thought it would be hopeless. I was like, I'm gonna have to buy a new graphics card for this, and I'm gonna I was gonna buy a 750 Ti for it, just to see if it could run sort of console quality, but the HD 7770 is holding up well. It's 1 gig of VRAM. So this is holding up pretty nicely. So what I'll do is I will leave you with the rest of the video now. I've talked long enough, and we'll leave you with the rest of Fallout 4 to enjoy. So thank you for joining me for this video, and next up we're gonna do The Division. Can it run The Division? So thank you for joining me for this, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye. And don't forget to, you know, enjoy the rest of the video. It will end with after the fight with the Deathclaw. See if it runs when the Deathclaw appears on screen. We'll see how the frame rate holds up then.
Please, go on.
A month ago, there were 20 of us. Yesterday, there were 8. Now we're 5. First, it was the ghouls in Lexington, and now this mess.
Tough break.
You don't know the half of it.
That ain't it.
Anyway, we figured Concord would be a safe place to settle. Those raiders proved us wrong. But...
God damn it.
well, we do have one idea.
Let's hear it.
Sturgis. Tell him.
There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof. Old school. Pre-war.
Uh-huh.
Well...
I like it. Uh-huh. Minigun. Right.
It can be...
I'll help if I can. Uh-huh.
But...
Hail the con...
Bingo.
We need help, and we get a vault dweller? What are you going to do in that stupid jumpsuit?